to our first ever virtual registration information session. We are truly glad to have you join us on the Baton Rouge Magnet High Facebook and Baton Rouge Magnet TV YouTube. This session is being recorded and it will be available later today, March 6, 2021, on the Baton Rouge Magnet TV YouTube. So, I'd like to introduce you to my administrative team and my counselors. First, Mr. Sean Feinberg, Associate Principal. He handles all of the instruction at Baton Rouge High. Dr. Lewis Moore, Associate Principal. He handles all of the discipline, but that covers a lot of things like dress code and many other things that you find in our handbook. Mr. Edward Hunter, Associate Principal. He handles all of the transportation, and he has dealt with all of the COVID-19 this year. Mr. John Pierre LaFleur, our ninth grade counselor. You will want to know him very well with our ninth graders coming in. Miss Tiffany Banks, our 10th grade counselor, and Miss Erica LeVay, our 11th grade counselor. At this time, if you have any questions for Dr. Moore or Mr. Hunter, please post them in the comment section. We'd like to give you a few minutes to ask either one, any questions that you might have, but you'll have to be logged into the Facebook or Google in order to post those comments. So let's do that at this time. We'll give you a few minutes. Remember, Dr. Moore is over mainly discipline, and Mr. Hunter, transportation and COVID-19. But transportation is always a big question for our ninth graders coming in. So if you don't have a Facebook or Google account, you can always email them. Dr. Moore's email address is lmoore@ebrschools.org. And Mr. Hunter, oh, great. We have a question. I believe that's for you, Mr. Hunter.
Good morning. You will see, once you register, and you will receive your bus information in the mail toward the end of July, first week of August. If you don't move after July 1, the address that you have now will be the address that will be used to route your child. So as long as you don't move after July 1, you should be fine. But if you move after July 1, please shoot me an email, let me know that you have a new address and we can reroute your child.
Dr. Moore, do you see that one?
Yes, I do. As always, the administration, meaning the whole team, we say that there are no uniforms, but it is a dress code. And the dress code is revisited yearly before we make the new student planners and update the policy. And we will have a detailed list on your child's planner, and also when you attend orientation, and also the current dress code can be found on the website as well on what to wear and what not to wear. But we do update per year, so you'll be able to get that updated list way before school starts for the new year.
And just like we always say, we don't believe it's a uniform can make you score better on your ACT. So we don't wear uniforms. Mr. Hunter?
Yes, transfer 70815 is not transfer. That is a direct bus. Oh, carpool. That's a carpool question.
Yeah. So, Mr. Moore, Dr. Moore.
Yes, the earliest time is supposed to be 6:40, and the reason why we say 6:40 because you will have the proper supervision there to make sure that your child is safe. If it's before 6:40, you'll be taking a slight risk because 6:40 is the time that we'll be there to ensure that we have adult presence supervising your child. So 6:40 a.m.
Mr. Hunter?
Definitely. Once your child is routed on a bus route, they can choose either AM or PM to ride, but the bus is always available.
Dr. Moore?
Yes, I'm trying to silence my cell phone. What is the dress code like? Just in general, there's a list, a page and a half on what the dress code is. And again, I would refer you to the website. But just for example, there are appropriate pants and appropriate shirts to wear. For example, leggings and jeggings are not allowed. Tank tops or short crop shirts. Those are just a few of the examples, but the website will be able to tell you what this year's dress code is. Like we said before, from time to time, every year we revisit the dress code and address issues, and we don't change all the time, but it has to be a pressing issue to where we would make changes to the dress code.
And the website is BRMH.com. BRMHS.com. So the question is, either one of you, whichever one of you, Dr. Moore, do you want to answer that one?
Yes, by law, all schools, all public schools, EBR schools have to provide lunch for your child, and breakfast is always available as an option for your child. We can't make them eat the breakfast or lunch, but it is available for them to have. So yes, so how many meals? It's 2, breakfast and lunch.
Mr. Hunter, you want to answer that one?
Yes. Well, next school year, we will probably have lockers again. This year, we did not have lockers because of COVID. However, next school year, your child will have a locker, and not only just for PE, but inside the school building as well. We're talking about afternoon. Pickup is at 2:25.
Do you want to get this one, Mr. Hunt?
The latest you can drop off, like we're talking about carpool. Yeah, you can drop your child off any time, but if it's after 7:10, we actually probably let him come and check your child in, because at that point your child is tardy, so he needs an excuse tardy as to why you're dropping him off so late. But you can drop your child off anytime. Just make after 7:10 they consider tardy though, and they probably have to go to the attendant's office to get an admit.
So carpool, how does it work? It's just you're coming down Eugene and you're just getting in line and picking up. We don't have a extensive carpool like an elementary school would have, where you have a number or a name. You just line up on Eugene, and just we have a deputy out there, and it's just picking up your child. No, we do not have a cross guard. We have asked for cross guards, but they rarely do cross guards for high school. But we do have at Eugene and government, we do have a deputy that serves pretty much as a crossing guard that we pay for.
Okay, Miss McCann, this is Miss Fortenberry. So that we can move along with our program this morning, several of the individuals on Facebook and YouTube have asked information about their specific zip code. And so what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to share the information for Mr. Moore. This is his email address if you want to jot that down, and you can email him anything that is related to discipline, dress code. He'll be happy to respond to you. And this is also the email for Mr. Hunter. So if you have questions about transportation, about your specific area, he'll be happy to answer your questions. And I'd like to say thank you again. Back to you, Miss McCann.
Thank you for all the questions, and they will be happy to answer anything. I know you have a lot of questions, but they will be able to answer all of your questions. So now, Ms. Fortenberry, who I'd like to thank for putting this morning together, and we are so glad that you came out to pick up your registration materials. And I'd like to thank her. She's has done a fantastic job as our magnet site coordinator putting this together today. So I'd like, she's going to take this time to discuss the forms that are in your packet. So Ms. Fortenberry.
Hello, welcome. So excited to see you guys this morning. I'm going to go through the forms in your packet. So for those of you in the stream that ask, hey, I didn't get my packet today, what should I do? What you're going to need to do is you're going to need to come on Monday morning. You're going to come to the main office, and that's on the Ogden Street side of the school. You will need a mask when you come inside the building. We will check your temperature, and you're going to come, and I will be sitting out front. If you dropped off paperwork here during the application session, you'll know exactly where I am. I'm right beneath the stairwell by the library. But if you don't, I promise you'll see me or hear my lovely voice when you walk into the area. So you can just come on over, scoot on in, and come and pick up a packet if you were not able to do that earlier today. I'm going to go through some information that was not included in the packet with this PowerPoint. So if you give me a second, I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Sorry. It's not being my friend. Hopefully you guys can see my screen. Give me 1 second. You can't because I'm here. And I can see you can't see it. Give me 1 second. Oh, I know what I need to do. All right, you guys should see me now. I hope. That's my hope. All righty. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Today is March 6th, the Saturday. This is such a weird day. Completing all forms currently helps ensure that your student has a wonderful start at BRMHS. So both parents or students are involved. If you have the forms in front of you, you should both have a blue or black ink pen. You should also have a pencil. Make sure wherever you're doing this, have a flat writing surface. Make sure it's free of all food and things like that. And I know that might seem a little weird, but I have received some forms with a little grease or a little, crayon. So just make sure your area is all clear. First things first. Before we get started, if you look inside your packet, there is going to be a course directory, a scheduling form, and there's going to be an office use only checklist. You can put those aside because you won't need those until our associate principal and or your counselor comes on the screen. That will happen a little bit later. Important forms. The Magnet Center of Excellence contract. This is a contract between the student, the parent, guardian, and the school. It features each individual's responsibility to foster student success. The student should print his or her name neatly at the top of the document. When it says include the grade level, the student will be in for 2021-2022. So if they're currently in 8th grade, they will be in 9th grade. The student should sign it, the parent should sign it, and then the parent should keep the last copy. So you have 3 sheets, and whatever the last sheet is yours to keep. Important to note, there have been changes. It says whether virtually or in person, even though our hope and goal is that we all go back to in-person learning, the student is still responsible for coming to school and performing. If a student's status is revoked for any reason, he or she must wait 1 calendar year to reapply to a program. Again, it's important that you read through the entire document. These are just some highlights in the form. Admission retention requirements is your next form in there. It goes over some really important things. Student must maintain an overall 2.5 cumulative GPA. They must have 95% attendance. Mr. Moore is going to check in on that, as well as our attendance secretary, Ms. Johnson. There are behavioral standards that are expected. Parental support is expected, and passing grades in all classes. Or if you have the appropriate GPA, the student must attend summer school before returning to Baton Rouge Magnet High School. Take the time to really read through this document and understand the policy as it relates to summer school, juniors, and reapplying. So before you sign anything, make sure you really read through this contract, because it's something that we uphold at the end of the school year. Do me a favor and leave the homeroom teacher area blank, because you won't know that until next year. The student should print his or her name on this document. The parent should sign and date it. The yellow copy or the second copy is yours to keep. Scholastic honor policy. I know your children are amazing, and we're so glad that they're here at Baton Rouge Magnet High School. However, it's hard when you have a lot on your plate and you may be tempted. So because of that, and because we want to ensure that every student has the opportunity for excellence, we've adopted a Scholastic honor policy. In this policy, cheating is defined. Providing illegal aid is defined. If a student is thought to have either cheated or provided legal aid, a grade of 0 and possible further consequences will go to that student. So make sure again that you're reading through this entire policy, because it will affect your student if by chance they get in a rough spot and make a bad decision, because children are children. Leave the homeroom teacher area blank. The student should print his or her name. The parent should sign and date it. And then you all will keep the yellow copy for your record. And thank you for whoever told me to slow down. I'm rushing. So thank you for keeping me on track. The next form you should see is the Parent Legal Guardian Media Consent Form. Baton Rouge Magnet High School is a premier high school in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and the nation. We're often featured in the media, and we'd like to show our students in their academic achievements. However, we would like to provide you with the choice about whether or not you want to include your child in these media publications. On the sheet, you can either check the circle yes or check the circle no to indicate whether or not you would like them to be included in media. The student must complete the top portion and sign. A signature is cursive writing. I know parents, they don't practice cursive writing anymore, but still it should be an attempt at a signature, because they'll need to sign items all throughout their time at Baton Rouge High School. In the second section, the parent must complete the bottom portion and sign. All of our students are beneath the age of 18, and so you are responsible for signing off on that. A copy of this document is available upon request when you come in to turn in your packet. Very important magnet transportation procedures. This form is required even if you plan to carpool your darling here to and from every single day of their high school career. There's a section that says to be kept in student's file. The student should print their name on that line. The parent should sign and date the document, and the parent should keep the yellow copy for your record. Next up is the emergency information card. This is a little half card. Please look at this. This is very, very, very important. Complete both sides of the card. Print all information requested. Be sure to list who can pick up the student. And for the grade, it's going to be the grade of the student for the 2021-2022 school year. Someone in the chat asked, is this going to be the entire session? No, ma'am. No, sir. Our counselors and administrators will be going over the schedule with you shortly. Student registration and verification long form. Print all information. On this long form, there are 6 places. I don't know, I got too many fingers up. 6 places to sign. Make sure you see that there are some on the front and there's some on the back. Read through carefully. Almost every year when we're in person and we're looking at the long form, I have parents saying, what's the directory? No, I don't agree to that. So let me explain. The directory is really just JCampus. It's what you've already done. It says that you will allow us to share information here on campus with one another, between administrators, counselors, teachers, so that we can help your child have the best academic success. So where it says directory, it's not like we're just giving out information to any company or organization that comes here. It is really just in the East Baton Rouge Parish school system, particularly in our building, so that we can provide information about what's going on with the student and their courses and any of that other information. The next form you'll see is the consent form for TOPS, college scholarships, grants, etc. The following information should be completed under the I consent or the I do not consent section. So if you consent to this, you're saying, hey, I do want my student to be eligible for TOPS. I do want them to be eligible for grants through LOSFA, the Louisiana Office of Financial Student Aid, or FAFSA, the Federal Association for Financial Student Aid. Students will print his or her name on the line where it says my child's full name. The parent or legal guardian will sign and print his or her full name and date the document. This is very important. So if you want them to be included in TOPS, you must complete this form. If you all are of the means and you don't want them to be included, you can check I do not consent. The next thing you'll see is the Louisiana Student Residency Questionnaire form. Key things that I hear every year about this form. This is a federal required form. And so it's really important that you read. And I want to kind of keep you from doing extra work. So where it says LEA, leave this blank. This doesn't apply to us because we're a brick and mortar school and students don't stay here on campus. Where it says the ID number, only complete this if the student currently attends an East Baton Rouge Parish Public School. The next thing is grade. It's the grade for the 2021-2022 school year. The last school attended is going to be the student's current school. So if your student currently attends McKinley Middle or Sherwood or Mayfair or Belfair, that's what you're going to put in that slot. Or if they're at St. Luke's, St. John Vianney, you're going to put their current school. Read number 1 carefully. It will determine how much you have to complete on the form. At the very bottom, where it says leave it blank, print school, contact name, title, signature, leave that area blank so there's no extra work there for you. Important documentation. Be sure you have a copy of the necessary documents. Now, I know the chat may be firing up because you lost your Social Security card in the 2016 flood and you went to the Social Security Administration and they've told you that they're not going to have it for a few weeks. I understand that. But if you do have it, we need a copy. We do not want the original. We want a copy of your Social Security card. If you're running into issues with this Social Security card, it's still required, but you must email so I can work with you to make sure you turn in this documentation. The next is the immunization record. It should say State of Louisiana Universal Certificate. It may not say for higher learning because this is something that they'll need once they start at the university level, but it should say State of Universal Certificate. On this certificate, at the very top, in this area, it has an expiration date. that expiration date should be after Monday, March 8th in order for it to be valid. Again, I don't want a My Chart printout. I want the state seal, and it should say State of Louisiana Universal Certificate. The next thing is a copy of the student's birth certificate. If you don't have one, you can request one and they will give you another copy of this item. And remember, I want a copy. I don't need the original of this document. So that ends my portion of the presentation. If you have other questions for me, you all know my email address. It's bfortenberry@ebrschools.org. And you can email me. We're so excited about the 2021-2022 school year, and we appreciate your time and attention. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Okay. Give me 1 second, and then we're going to get back to Ms. McCann. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Fortenberry. Parents, if you have any questions, please email Ms. Fortenberry. She'll be away from her phone next week because she'll be in the main lobby collecting your packets, but you can always email her and she'll get right back to you. Now let's go over the final registration packet drop-off that'll occur Monday, March the 8th through Friday, March 12th. These are very important dates for you because we need these packets. They'll be submitted to the main office at Baton Rouge High. That's the main entry that's located on the Ogden Street side of the building. And there's a small parking lot, visitor parking lot. It's very small. So you'll park in there. You'll come into the main office and drop that off. So please take note of these times. If you come on Monday, you can come between 7:30 and 2:30. Now, if you come at 3, you will not be able to drop it off. So make sure it's between 7:30 and 2:30. On Tuesday, March the 9th, we are giving the ACT test here. So if you come between 7:30 and 12, you need to come. Ms. Fortenberry will be set up outside in the front of the school. So make sure that you look for her. And between 12 and 2:30 in the main office. There will be no visitors inside the school because of ACT. So we need to make sure that if you come that morning, you look for her outside. Wednesday, March 10th, 7:30 to 2:30. Thursday, March 11th, 7:30 to 2:30. And Friday, March 12th, 7:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. So at this time, I need all, if you'll listen very carefully, because I know some of you are tuning out, in and out, till we get to something that that you're interested in, maybe like scheduling. But at this time, I need all 10th and 11th grade parents to refer to the email that Ms. Fortenberry sent entitled Scheduling with 10th and 11th grade counselors. So that was sent today at 8:30 a.m. So in the email that you received, please click on the underlined phrase, join Microsoft Teams meeting. And you'll be able to meet with your grade level counselor to do your scheduling for next year. Just a few tech tips. You need to make sure that you're using your Google Chrome. After you click the Join Microsoft Teams meeting, click on Continue with Web Browser. So I want to thank you for, you're going to be leaving us now. So I want to thank you for attending the meeting this morning, and we look forward to seeing you next year. And that's for our 10th and 11th grade parents. So you'll be leaving us at this time. For all of our 9th grade parents, we will now proceed with helping you complete your students' yellow schedule request form. So please get that out, if you will. It's a yellow schedule form, and Mr. Feinberg and Mr. LaFleur and I will answer your questions. This is a very important time for your child, very important time. You will need to be logged into Facebook or Google in order to post comments. If you have any other questions after this is over, you'll be able to email Mr. LaFleur, the guidance counselor, and we'll give you that information when this part's over. But at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Feinberg, who's going to walk you through the 9th grade scheduling process. Mr. Feinberg?
Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon. Two things you're going to need are, one thing is your scheduling booklet. The scheduling booklet is going to have information you need to pick your classes, and your registration form. We're going to start the registration form on the back side of it. We have some very important information about scheduling here on the very top, and it talks about the difference between honors and advanced placement courses. One thing about it that's really important is that we recommend that students who are new to Baton Rouge High School take no more than 2 honors or AP courses in their first year, because it's a big transition to Baton Rouge High, and very, very few students can handle all honors or advanced placement courses in their first year. There's no advantage to taking an honors course if your student becomes overwhelmed and does not do well on the course. Something else on this that you'll see here in the middle is that you are actually picking your courses for next year. We'll be reviewing it, but we will not receive all of your records from your middle school. Some of them we won't get until almost 2 months into the school year. So we won't know if you actually took the courses you say you took. So if you are not, it's your responsibility to pick the courses you have the correct prerequisites for, because we won't be able to verify it until it's too late. If you're not sure what course you're in, you can call your counselor and they will help figure that out for you. You're also scheduling for the entire year. After the 10th day, you cannot make changes to courses. Also, based on these courses that you pick, I'm going to be assigning courses to teachers. So if everybody picked AP Human Geography, I wouldn't be offering any World Geography. And then if people change their mind, I wouldn't have anybody teaching those courses. So these selections you make are what we build our school schedule around. So there might not be room to move if you change your mind when school starts. On the bottom part of this, we've got the course of studies for Baton Rouge Magnet High School students. Unlike traditional high schools, at Baton Rouge Magnet High School, you've got to take an English, social studies, mathematics, and science course all 4 years, even if you meet your graduation requirements. Every student at Baton Rouge Magnet High School will exceed their graduation requirements. Students do not get to leave school early their senior year like they do at some of the traditional high schools. So there is no advantage for moving ahead in a course if you're not ready for it, because you're going to have to take math all 4 years and all the rest of the courses that you've got to take all 4 years. Please sign on the bottom, both you and your child, and then you'll be able to get around to the actual scheduling form, which is this part where you're going to write in your courses. So let's start talking about which course selections you will be writing in and selecting for this year. Under the English line, you're going to put your current year course. Of course, that would be your English. Most of you have the English course and the literature course. Please put your first semester grade for that 8th grade English and that 8th grade literature. In high school, those both get combined into just English. You only have one English in high school. So put that 8th grade English and then your first semester grade. Under the course request box, you have 2 choices for 9th grade. You can schedule either English 1 are English 1 honors. The difference is that English 1 honors goes in more depth. In English 1 honors, the readings are, the novels they read are a little bit harder to read. They're tougher. They will have to get more AR points than the students in regular English 1. And they're going to be expected to know a lot of the basic grammar conventions already. So they're not going to be reviewing as much grammar as they would in regular English 1. This should be for students that had an A in 8th grade English, maybe 1 B out of those 4, because English and literature, those 4 grades. And then on that test we took, the magnet placement test, you should have a stay 9 higher than 7. You should be in that 7, 8, 9 stay 9 area. And whenever you take the LEAP 2025 in the spring, you should score mastery or advanced if you want to be in the honors. Now, our regular class is equal to honors in some high schools. So there's no shame in being in regular English at Baton Rouge High. It's going to be a lot of work again. So again, for regular English, that is an advanced course equal to honors courses in some regular high schools. But for honors English, should be a combination of mostly A's in both 8th grade English and 8th grade literature, a stay 9, 7, 8, or 9 on that magnet placement test, and a mastery or advanced whenever they on the LEAP. They didn't take a LEAP in 7th grade, so. And for that honors English again, extra AR, more difficult novels, and less grammar review. They have an expectation that the students in the honors will be better at grammar because they're more accelerated. You don't need to put an alternate there for English because everybody will be in English 1. And I'm going to create the master schedule based on your requests for honors or regular. For the social studies block, put your 8th grade social studies in the letter grade. If you're taking world geography in 8th grade, you'll put that also. Put your world geography for high school credit. Some middle schools have that in the letter grade, or world history. Some middle schools have that. You have 2 choices for social studies. The choices are world geography or AP human geography. In world geography, students are going to learn about the physical and human geography of the world. They're going to learn about the different regions of the world. It's a great class where they get to learn about where everything is around the world and what everything is like around the world. If you choose AP human geography, you're going to learn why everything is like it is around the world. So it is the why of the where. So why has COVID spread around the world the way it has? Why certain industries tend to be in certain countries or certain regions of the United States, why certain types of different businesses and housings are located in different areas of cities, why different populations in different countries have different growth rates and death rates. So the AP Human Geography is more of the why, whereas the World Geography is the where. Now, AP means Advanced Placement. That means at the end of that course, students get to take an exam. The exam, there's a fee associated with the exam that the parents have to pay, but you get to take an exam at the end of the course. And if you make a score of a 3, 4, or 5 on that exam, you can earn college credit for the course, depending on the college you go to. At LSU, if you make a 4 on the AP Human Geography exam, you get 6 hours of credit in geography at LSU. So it is a college level class, and you get college level credit. Again, for this class, you should have an A in that 8th grade social studies for the AP Human Geography. And you should like to read. There's also going to be a summer reading if you sign up for that AP Human Geography. It'll be posted in June on our website. You'll be able to go on our website under the summer readings tab and get your summer reading. So if you sign up for AP Human Geography, you're going to need to go look on the Baton Rouge High website in June for the summer reading and do your summer reading before you show up to school in August. So again, yes.
Jump in real quick.
Mm-hmm.
The information he's talking about in relation to AP government, you're also going to receive an email from me in June reminding you that when you drop off your report card, that you will also at that time turn in, you can pick up a copy of that information.
The summer readings, yes. When you drop off your report card, they'll have the summer readings on the front counter for you.
Thank you.
Again, for social studies, you do not have to put an alternate. So again, your social studies choices are World Geography, which is our regular magnet level course, and then AP Human Geography, our advanced course that you can earn college credit for. Mathematics. This becomes the complicated one because in math, our students coming in are at all different levels. So it's really important for the mathematics that you put your current year course name. If you are taking just regular 8th grade mathematics, you're going to put 8th grade math. I know at Sherwood, which many of you attend, it's called advanced 8th grade math. Wherever else you might be, they'll call it 8th grade math or just math. Put that. If you're in Algebra 1 in 8th grade, you're going to put your Algebra 1 there. Some of you are in geometry. You're going to write that. Some of you are in Algebra 2. And I know a few of you are even in advanced math pre-calculus. If you're in pre-calculus, you're going to write that and your grade. To know what class you take next, you need to refer in our course booklet to page 5, and it has our mathematics flow chart. This flow chart is going to show you what you need to take. You cannot skip a math. You have to take all of these maths that are listed. Cannot skip a math in high school. Everybody has to have credit for Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, and Advanced Math Pre-Calculus in order to get a high school diploma in Louisiana. So you cannot skip Algebra 1. This is why it's really important that you put your correct course on the sheet and that you schedule correctly. Because if you just jumped ahead without taking a course, we'd have to go back the following year and take that course so you can get your graduation requirements. If you are in 8th grade math this year, you're going to take Algebra 1. You can also take Algebra 1 honors. Those students that would take Algebra 1 honors are those kids that have A's in 8th grade math this year and that scored a 7 or higher on that placement test to stay 9 for math. If you're in Algebra 1 in 8th grade, you're going to take geometry. But if you're in Algebra 1 in 8th grade and you have a C or a D, or you scored a 6 or a 5 on that math test, we need to strongly consider moving you back, having you retake Algebra 1. There is no shame in retaking Algebra 1 if you're not ready to move forward. Algebra 1 is the key mathematics course for the rest of your educational career. If you don't have Algebra 1 down, you're going to struggle in math forever. Everybody has to take math every year at Baton Rouge High. So even if you retake Algebra 1 in 9th grade, you're going to take a math senior year regardless. So it doesn't hurt you to retake it if you don't have the skills to move forward. But if you move forward without the skills, you're going to end up making a bad grade in geometry and a bad grade in Algebra 2, and you're going to do worse on the ACT because you don't have those basic skills. It's very important. And again, how do you know if you have those skills? Well, if you have a C or a D in Algebra 1 this year, if you made a 5 or 6 on that placement test, stay 9 in math, or when we get to the spring and you take the Algebra 1 EOC, and if you score a basic or below, then it shows that you can get better at those skills by retaking Algebra 1, and then you'll have better grades in math all the way going forward. If you're in geometry this year, you're going to schedule Algebra 2. Both geometry and Algebra 2, they have honors options. And again, all of our honors options, my recommendation is that you have A's this year in those courses. Again, if you're in geometry right now and you think back to last year when you took Algebra 1, if you had a C and you're struggling this year in geometry, you can go back and retake Algebra 1 here and then take Algebra 2 your sophomore year to get those Algebra 1 skills. If you're in Algebra 2, you're going to schedule Advanced Math Pre-Calculus, and again, there's an honors option. And if you're in Advanced Math Pre-Calculus, there's probably 2 or 3 of y'all. You're going to look at Calculus AB, AP Calculus AB. Those are the ones, are 2 or 3 students that are in that Advanced Math Pre-Calculus. Again, you do not need to put an alternate for your math class, because on the 9th grade level, we're going to create enough sections for everybody to get the appropriate math class that they qualify for. Science. For science, again, you'll put your course name, letter grade. I know some 8th graders are in physical science or maybe in environmental science. You're going to put that and put your letter grade that you earned. At Baton Rouge High, we pair mathematics and science. We pair mathematics and science because mathematics is the language of science. And the teachers in the science courses often will reinforce the math they're doing in the math course. So if for your math request, you put Algebra 1, for science, you're going to put physical science. So if your mathematics request is Algebra 1 for next year, you're going to put science for your request. You're going to put physical science for your request for science. If your mathematics request is geometry or higher, you're going to put biology 1 for your science request. Now, with biology 1, you have the option of taking biology 1 honors. The biggest difference between biology 1 regular and biology 1 honors is that biology 1 honors has to do the science fair. All of our honor science classes are required to do the science fair. So if you don't want to do the science fair, take just a regular science course. So geometry, if you're taking for math next year, geometry, Algebra II, advanced math pre-calculus, calculus, you're going to schedule biology. Biology 1. And then you can decide if you want to do the science fair, and if you had an A in science this year, you could take biology 1 honors. World language / elective. All of our 9th, 10th, and 11th grade students are required to take an academic elective. For most 9th grade students, that academic elective will be a world language. In order to get a high school diploma in Louisiana, you have to have 2 consecutive high school credits in the same world language. So you have to take Spanish 1, Spanish 2, French 1, French 2. We have Latin 1, Latin 2, German 1, German 2, Chinese 1, Chinese 2. So you have to have at least 2 consecutive credits of the same language to get a diploma in Louisiana. Some of you already have that. I know our students that are coming from the immersion program will be coming in with French 1 and French 2 or Spanish 1 and Spanish 2. You can request the 3rd level of the language. If you have those 2 credits of language from middle school, you don't have to take a language this year. You can select another academic elective. I have a list of academic electives in the back of the course directory. Here are the academic elective choices. Those are for the people that have their 2 credits of your world language. For students that do not have 2 credits of the world language, they're going to need to pick the next credit in the language they're taking, or pick one of the languages we have if you're starting up with your journey in high school credit for world language. So if you've never taken a language, you can pick Latin 1, German 1, Chinese 1, French 1, Spanish 1. If you are in Spanish 1 or French 1 or Latin 1 this year, you can put Spanish 2, French 2, Latin 2. We offer advanced courses, French 2 advanced, Spanish 2 advanced. Again, the advanced level or honors level are going to be for students who have an A in 8th grade in these courses. And you can also talk to your 8th grade teacher if they have an A and you're kind of wondering. They're very familiar with our foreign language department, most of them, and they can also help advise you if they think your child is ready. There's a pretty big jump between the regular and the advanced courses in the languages. If you're choosing level 1 of a language, if you're starting off in a world language, you need to put an alternate because not everybody in the school can take Spanish because, we have French teachers, or not everybody can take Latin. We only have one Latin teacher, so the computer will fill those courses up and then we'll go to your alternate. So if you're taking Latin 1, Spanish 1, French 1, German 1, Chinese 1, you need to select an alternate. Because these courses are going to fill up, some of them. Now your next elective down there. This is kind of the course that's up to you. Look through the course directory and you can find a course that that's open to 9th graders. You can even do a second core area like math. If you're in geometry, you can do Algebra II at the same time. Then we have a lot of great elective courses. We have art, music, theater, radio, robotics, media art, drafting is very popular. Web design, another great course. You may be familiar that we have a radio station here at Baton Rouge High, FM 90.3, and an AM station, 1260 AM. And you can take Radio 1 in 9th grade and learn about how radio works. And then in 10th grade, you take Radio 2 and actually go up into the radio station and operate the radio station. It is a pretty popular radio station in town, and there are thousands of people that listen to it every day. We also have a talented program. Talented is a designation that you would have received after a screening. You may be in talented art, talented music, talented theater. You would put that, but in order to put that, you'd have to have an IEP. If you're coming from a private school and your child is very good at art, theater, or music, and would like to pursue receiving a talented designation, you need to contact Mr. LaFleur, and he can give you the paperwork to start that process, but it can take up to a year to receive that designation. And then in our bottom box is PE. So our 9th graders will all be taking PE. This will open up as an elective in 11th or 12th grade. In 9th grade, you need to select one of our PE offerings. Great thing about Baton Rouge High is that we have a lot of specialized PE offerings, including dance. You could take dance PE, which is ballet based. And Miss Acosta, our dance teacher, who's also one of the leaders of the Baton Rouge Ballet Theater here in town, loves boys coming out for ballet because they definitely need the boys to be able to lift the girls up and to spin them around, and they need that strength out there for that. But it's a great course. You're getting it from a private ballet company level teaching of ballet in PE on levels 1 and 2. Other PEs that we have tennis PE, we have golf PE. They get on the bus and they go over to City Park every day, and they get to play a couple holes of golf at City Park. There's an extra fee for that course. You have to pay the greens fee at City Park. It's like $15 a month. We have gymnastics PE in our beautiful gymnastics gym. And then we have some sports PEs for people that are going to be on the team. So soccer PE for people that are going to be on the soccer team. We have a volleyball PE for people that are going to be on the volleyball team. But those are just for people that are going to be on the team. So those are not recreational courses. And then we have just regular old block PE.
Mr. Feinberg, can I jump in real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Inside your packet, you received a flyer that talked about athletics. If you take your phone and you have a QR code scanner, you can click on that, and that will give you more information in addition to what Mr. Feinberg is saying right now. Thank you, sir.
Yes, that'll be for the teams, if you're going to be on one of the teams. And you'll have to be approved to be on one of those, like the soccer PE or the volleyball PE. You're going to have to get approved by the coach of that team to be in those PEs. But we have regular block PE, which is just regular PE. Regular co-ed PE, where you do a different sport every month. And it's fun at Baton Rouge High. And because of, our school is not, our school is so diverse that they choose a lot of diverse activities for our PE classes that really meets what our kids are interested in. I go out there sometimes to the gym, and there are kids playing checkers as part of their PE. They go out and run around the track, but then they let them do their individual, sometimes kind of play things, and they play checkers and ping pong and do some of that kind of stuff. So it's a little bit for everybody in block PE. So for our elective and for PE, you need to make sure you put an alternate because these courses fill up quickly. We also have a mind and body PE too. And that's kind of a PE that focuses on like meditation techniques, kind of like some of those yoga, Tai Chi type activities that are both get your mind and body strengthened at the same time. All right, as you look down the bottom of that sheet, the part where it says academic departments will review student requests and make determination on student eligibility for courses that require a teacher recommendation. That's for our students that are here. Once you get to our sophomore and up level courses, generally teacher recommendations are required. Because of COVID, we're not having students go to teachers and receive those recommendations. So that's a 10th through 12th grade thing. Basically for 9th graders, if you have the grade and the testing requirements, you'll be getting the courses that you request. And then you need to make sure that you affirm that you've read everything and that the student meets those requirements. because on this, you can tell us your kid's in Algebra 1. And then if we get the records in October and it shows your kid wasn't in Algebra 1, then we'll have a little bit of a problem, because then they'll be in geometry without having the proper prerequisite, and we're going to have to get them credit for that Algebra 1 somehow, and they probably won't be doing well in geometry. So make sure they have the credits that you write down on here for current year courses and names. Great. All right, well, I appreciate everybody. I know that was probably a lot for you sitting in your living rooms or your offices, but we're looking forward to a great year next year. And if you have any questions, of course, you can also contact me as well as Mr. LaFleur, your counselor, and we're going to help you out through this scheduling and beginning of their high school journey.
Thank you, Mr. Feinberg. And like I said when we first started, this is the most important part of the journey, starting at Baton Rouge High, is this first scheduling for 9th grade. It's very exciting, but getting that math class right, Mr. Feinberg said, getting that math class is so important. And I would like to say that if you sign up for English 1 Honors, that you ought to sign up for that Human Geography. It's a great class. I think those two should go together. You're going to have, I know you have a lot of questions. You need to sit down with your son or daughter and just talk about what they want to do and what they're willing, how much they're willing to put into it. Ms. Fortenberry?
Yes, I just wanted to, you had several questions while Mr. Feinberg was talking, and I explained to them that at the end we'd answer a few questions.
So, let's do that.
So if you had a question that you put in the stream earlier, if you would be so kind as to put it in now, we'll try to get to as many as we can in the next 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And after that, we're going to stop. And as always, at the very end, before Ms. McCann lets everyone go, I'm going to put a slide that has the email addresses of everyone that you may need to contact here on campus. And I'll leave that up for a few minutes once the stream is over. So I'm going to put up the first question now, Ms. McCann.
Great. Mr. Feinberg?
The Chinese 1 is honors. It starts out, it's just a first level course. It is, of course, it's Chinese. So it is a more difficult course to start because, of course, they have different characters than any of the other languages. All the rest of our languages use our similar alphabet. So it's a lot easier for the students. So, you know, I would not choose Chinese unless your student is a very strong student and is prepared for rigor. We are not having swimming PE anymore. That's something that we had Coach Newport taught for a long time, and he retired 2 years ago. No, they are not assigned in order first received. We get all we get everybody's courses. Everybody all gets put into the computer, and after all requests are entered, I push a button, and the computer sorts it out randomly.
You know, I would like to say that if a 9th grader has finished all of their foreign language, we can look at something like that, but that's the only way, is if they have finished all of their foreign language.
If they have a talented designation for vocal music, they'll be in the choir class. So it's not students that are in talented music, they're only pulled out by the talented teacher 1 day a week, and the other 2 days they're with the instrumental class with the students that are not designated as talented. So if your child is vocal, talented, they would be in the choir class 2 days a week, and they'd go to talented one day. They work together, the talented and the choir teacher. Same thing for strings, same thing for the other ones. If you have a low grade in Algebra 1, I would strongly recommend retaking Algebra 1, because even if you did well on the EOC, you're probably lacking some of those skills if you're making a low grade in the class. And I very rarely have ever seen anybody that had a C or a D in Algebra 1 make a higher than a C or D in geometry.
Mr. LaFleur, you want to answer that one about the IEP?
Yes, ma'am. I am not sure if this would be for talented or not. Do you think this is for talented?
I would assume this is for talented.
Okay.
Because ISS would be offered at every school.
Why don't we say this? If you're a parent that has this concern, please email Mr. LaFleur when we put his email address.
Please do, yes.
On the screen. I'm going to answer this one. It's very difficult to decide how many honors classes you can have. For an average student, we say that you shouldn't take more than 2. But we know that there are students at Baton Rouge High who have 4 honors classes. There are some students that can handle that. And so that's really, that's something that you know about your child. If they have all A's in everything that they've taken, and if you feel like they can handle that, but an average child at Baton Rouge High can normally just take 2, and it's a time of transition. Mr. Feinberg, you want to chime into that?
What I would say is that if you're in the top 10%, maybe you can handle more honors classes. But top 10% of Baton Rouge High, not top 10% of your middle school. So that's the elite of the elite. Whereas very smart kids are the average for Baton Rouge High, and the average for Baton Rouge High shouldn't take more than 2. So you don't want to overwhelm yourself. You can always take more as a sophomore. If 2 or 3 are easy for you and it works out, you can take more as a sophomore and more as a junior. But I would say, unless you are you love doing a lot of work, I wouldn't take any more than 2, because it may overwhelm you. And becoming overwhelmed will hurt much more than the benefit of taking some of those extra honors courses. No.
You can skip world geography and take AP human geography.
Yes.
You have a choice between the 2, but you don't have to take world geography, but you would take AP human geography. You can't skip 9th grade social studies.
All 9th graders have to be in a geography class this year.
Ms. McCann, I see several questions in the stream in conjunction with the immunization document. Again, we need the Louisiana state certificate. If you do not have that, that's what we need. And if you're having trouble, again, please email me so I'm aware and I can work with you to make sure you get the appropriate documents. Again, I also just discovered in the feed that several of them are indicating that they are having trouble with the athletics form. I will get in touch with director, athletic director Khan, and then I will send out an email to all of you all that have been accepted, so that you know where to go to complete that correct Google form. So I don't want anybody to be frantic. Please know she won't be here Monday, but I'll get that information to you most likely by Tuesday or Wednesday, to let you know what your next steps have to be. So thank you for that information. I'm going to add just a couple more questions, Ms. McCann, and then I'll put up the slide for them to see what the email addresses are.
So you want, Mr. LaFleur, you want to answer that?
Absolutely. Yes, ninth graders do need to start with that language course right away. And there is a benefit to that. You can go ahead and knock out that world language because you need 2 years of it, which was explained eloquently by Mr. Feinberg. So you need 2 years of it. And once you've completed that second year in the 10th grade, that opens up another elective slot for you for junior year and, of course, for senior year as well. So yes, it is something that we need to get started right away, and I think you'll appreciate that benefit as well.
And some colleges like to see that third year of a world language as well. So they may be, by their junior year, they may start looking at colleges that have a third year.
Hi, really quickly, this is still going back to packets, and I have several questions. If by any chance you're missing a document, because several human hands help to create those, please email me and I'll make sure you have that when you come in to turn in your documents. And for Miss Meyer, form should be filled out in blue or black ink. I always suggest that you fill out the schedule in pencil, because if you change your mind while you guys are having that conversation, you can erase and fix it, instead of you having to come to the school and say, I need another schedule form. I'd much prefer you to just go ahead, fill it out in pencil, and that way you can make all the changes that you need. Thank you.
This one, do this one in pencil.
But sign in ink.
Yeah, sign in ink.
If you have already played some tennis, then we can put you in a different tennis level. You just let us know.
It's going to say PE1 on your schedule because everybody has to have PE1 as a graduation requirement, but it could be in one of the more advanced sections of tennis PE.
You just have to let us know that on your schedule. When you put it down, you just have to say what experience you've had.
So
there is not honors physical science.
Yeah, there is no honors. You definitely should put in an alternate to that band elective as a just in case, for sure. That's a good idea.
I'm sure, but they do have different levels of band, and so it's not like it's just one level and you get cut. You're being auditioned to see which class you're going to be put in. So it's not as if you're not going to be in one of the band classes. And getting that would be from the magnet office. They're the ones who gave the placement test. So we don't have those scores.
Yes, we'd to answer this question that's on the screen, we would need documentation to kind of prove where that credit was taken if it was outside of school. So please provide that information to us so that we could
and if we can accept that credit.
And if we can accept it, right.
We might not be able to accept the credit depending on where it came from.
Exactly.
But please email Mr. LaFleur and let us see that, give us that information, and we'll be glad to look at that.
And same thing for everybody. If you're planning on taking, once you become a Baton Rouge High student, you have to have the principal's permission to take a course outside of Baton Rouge High. So at any point during any summer, if you want to take a course for new credit, you're going to need Ms. McCann's permission to receive credit for that course before you take it.
So the question about computer science AP, you can still take the computer science too. You can, yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
World Geography is not a prerequisite for AP Human Geography. You can start in AP Human Geography.
And you're going to love that class. Volleyball tryouts are open. They will have volleyball tryouts for 9th graders. It'll be after school gets started. But definitely.
But you won't be in the volleyball PE class unless you make the team.
I want to say thank you. I know several of you have other questions. Again, we are encouraging you to please email the individuals on the slide. It starts with our principal, Ms. McCann, and my name is down there at the bottom. I'm going to leave this up, and I'm going to turn it over to Ms. McCann to say goodbye for the afternoon.
Well, again, I do encourage you to email Mr. Feinberg if you have, and Mr. LaFleur, if you have, and you can email me too. That's fine, about questions about the curriculum or about scheduling, anything. We are here to assist you and to make it easy. Baton Rouge High is a very complicated scheduling, school. So we want to make it as easy as we can. But what Mr. Feinberg was saying is once we get you scheduled, it's very hard to make changes. So, and we try to give your child everything that they've asked for. So with that being said, remember, if you have any other questions, please contact any of us. And I want to thank you for attending today. Thank you for coming by our drive-through pickup for the registration packets. And we were so excited that it went so well. But thank you, and it's been a pleasure to have you here with us. And thank you so much, Ms. Fortenberry, for being our hostess for the day, our master of ceremony.
No, thank you for being
Mistress of ceremony.
You did the hard lifting. So thank you guys. I'm going to leave this screen up and have a wonderful day. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
See you soon.
See you soon.